welcome to a Project Cars 2 video. Now usually if you want to go do some Rallycross, you would usually get in a car similar to this one, a Honda Civic Rallycross or a Ford Focus Rallycross and so on. But today what I'm going to try and do is something possibly a little bit different. I'm going to attempt to go rallycrossing with a field of 1,200 horsepower Mazda MX-5 drift cars. Now, I'm not really sure who made this. I don't really keep up with like people who go drifting and stuff like that, but I just saw this in the game and thought that would be good for going, that would be interesting, let's just say, for going rallycross. So this is what happened. So we have arrived at Lydden Hill with the Mazda MX-5, 1,200 horsepower rear-wheel drive, and I have no idea how everyone else got such a good start, because I was just sitting there spinning my wheels. Into the first corner we go, off-road. This is terrible off-road. Oh, okay, yep, we pushed that guy around, slightly crashed into him. I think he's got confused by a wall, but yeah, that guy's clearly didn't know where the track is. We've actually made our way up into third. So yeah, rear-wheel drive rallycross. Interesting, especially in a car like this, going off-road. The suspension is really not made for it. If we slightly, get a bit of power, try and slide it around there. That's the easiest way to sort of get around the corner. But as for the game, Project Cars 2 is brilliant. Well, brilliant. I'm looking for a sort of better way to sum it up. It's good. It's good. I certainly, it's better than the first one. Like, if you thought the first one's handling was a bit iffy, then maybe get the second one and mess around with the settings. I know that Super GT did a video on controller settings, because I'm playing this on a controller, if you don't know. Yeah, so if you watch Super GT's video, I'll probably link his video down in the description. He's got some good settings for Project Cars 2, and you should probably watch that if you want to have good controller settings. So yeah, and I apologise that I've not really been uploading that much. I think my last video was about 2 weeks ago, and it was the Regalia versus Warthog video. I've just not been that motivated. I've had personal problems as well. People in real life will most likely know what I'm on about here. And I've not really been in the mood to sort of make videos and stuff, but Project Cars 2 is out now, and I will be making more videos on that. Now, the guy that I spun out, I'm not sure if that was the guy that spun out, or if he's just spun out there. I think he just spun out there. Has got a bit confused by the wall, and he's just not moving, so that's great. So yeah, I do have some rather interesting ideas for this game. As you can see, this is the first idea that I had. Driving absolutely insane drift cars on a rallycross track. Actually surprisingly controllable. It wasn't sliding around as much, at least, well, it was sliding around, but it's not that like too uncontrollable, if you know what I mean. The guy that spun out last lap is still getting confused by a tyre wall, and the guy on the outside there is getting confused to where the track is. The AIs aren't really that great with driving this car on, or shut up, guy commentating. Yeah, sorry. As you saw there, the car slides around, but it doesn't sort of spin out, which is nice. As I was saying, the AIs sort of get a little bit confused when they're driving cars that aren't supposed to be driving on the surfaces that they are driving on. As you can see with them going off track and stuff like that. But we are in 5th, so the AIs are actually keeping ahead of me as we slightly mess up. That was probably a glitch. That kind of looked like it was coming through the final corner. So yeah, I do have some ideas for this. I thought about maybe go-kart racing on ice. The guy is still confused by that tyre wall, and the guy on the outside, it's almost like a carbon copy of, it's almost like a copy of the last race, or the last lap, sorry, of the guy going to the outside. But yeah, go-karting on ice, I think that would be interesting. But you can actually slide this. In the first game it was actually quite hard, I found, to hold a slide. I'm guessing that's because there wasn't really any purpose-built drift cars, but I've driven the 720S and you can sort of hold a drift in that, not really, kind of. It really depends on how skilled you are, I suppose, at driving sim games, but we're on the last lap, coming up to the finish line. We're in 5th, but the guy that's behind us is kind of being confused by some tyres for about half the race, so yeah, that was great. So that is it for this Project Cars 2 video. If you have enjoyed it and want to see more, please make sure to like, comment and subscribe if you're already to my channel. Until the next video, goodbye.